welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture we'll make our score panel which will provide user their score according to their hits. So when you play this game, at this point you could see our Angry Bird interface, and when you hit, and you can see the projection, and you can also see the collision, because we have implemented the collision between the bird and the pig and the wood and a pig in the previous lectures. So this physics is quite interactive, but what you need to do is have this score panel. So how we'll implement this score is, we'll have score panel at this side, and we'll see here a text that will be showing us a score that will just render as an score here, that is a text, and we'll have a number here, so that will be 0 to our score basically. So let's implement that. So firstly what you're gonna do is, let me just close it and go to this main.py. So before that, implementing score, so firstly let me add some more label here. So go to this labels. So we have only label 0 here, so let me add more labels. So for that, let me just, I have some code, bunch of code here, that will just be here level 2, level 3. You can just go in the resource section and grab it. So first will be build here, that will be next as in build 1, and it will take self, and similarly we'll build next level, that will be build 2. So let me just stick here with the level up to level 5. So let me say next will be build 2, and similarly build 3, and just give a self here. And now the next level will be build 4 here, and we have now last level, that is level 5. So that will have this name as in build 5, and just give a self. So why this, we have basically this build underscore, which is common in this all the function, is because we call from this lower level, and you can see the build name is made as in build and underscore here, and the self number refers to the this basically number of the level. That is, if you have this build 0, that is, this is level 0, now we'll have number as in 1 because this is level 1. So let's get this code for this level. So we have level 2 here, and this level 2 is basically having, so let me just grab this code, and you can also Google, or you can also make by your own this code, this bunch of code, because it's really easy to make. So let me see what is going on here. So firstly we have created this pig from this character. So let me just go to this character.py, that is here, and in this character.py we have a class pig, and it is just a bunch of a code which will give the physics to our pig. So we have a pig here and another pig, and this is position for our pig, and we have also space because it expects us to have this space when calling this pig. So you can see here space, and x and y is a position for our pig. After that, what you're gonna do is go to this level again, and see we have just append that pig 1 and pig 2 in this pig list. And after that we create this polygon which refers to column, and again we have beam and column and column and beam. So this is our level 2. So let me do first or complete with all of this code, and I'll show what is this level about. So in this build 2, just go here and just copy that all of this code. So this is build 2, and you can have this bunch of a code for build 2, and that is basically our level 3, and go here and just paste it. And also this will have a structure, or where we have only 3 pig. Here we have 3 pig, and the life of a pig will be 25. And similarly we'll append that all pig in this pig list, and after that we'll just stick with this beam column, making the structure which will just encapsulate our this pig. So after that, what you're going to do is, we'll just have this build 3, which is our level 4. Just go here and just grab this code and just again paste it here. So if you have any confusion regarding to this code, so this is really easy, because I am creating instances of this pig, which is character. From here we are making this pig, and just we are appending that pig in this pig list. So we have now here 3 pig. So if you wonder, here we haven't made any beam columns, we have only the 3 pig. Basically we are not making any beam and column or structure in this level 4. So in this level 4, what it's gonna be look like is when you only have the 3 pig. So let me just give a quick structure what is going to happen here. So it will only have the 3 pig, and it will bounce. This pig will bounce basically independent of each other. That means it will bounce randomly, this 3 pig, and when this you will project to hit to this pig, then you would find really interesting, so that there is only a 3 pig, no beam and column. So you can just increase the difficulty as the level progress. So this is the quite difficult level, and after that what you're gonna do is we'll just build another difficult level. And the next way, in order to make a so let me just copy it from here, level 5. So let me grab this, all of this, and just copy it from here and paste it again in the level 4, that is build 4. And let me just remove this, we don't need this, because we have now build 4 and build start from 0. That means we have now 5 levels. So in these 5 levels, what is going to happen is, one idea can be that we have to implement this pig, and they will just move independent of each other to make a difficulty level higher. So another approach can be just increase the life of the pig. So in this case we have just increased the life from 20 to 40. So normal life of the pig was 20. So if you go in character, and you can see this pig life is, normal life is 20, which is default life, but we increase that in this level, that is level 5 to 40. So that means you have now more difficult level. So you can work with this, and this is really interesting to make an structure out of these columns, beams, and making more number of pig and increasing the life of a pig, and you can make more level here. So I'll stick with the 5 levels here. And now what we're gonna do is, next thing, we'll just create a lower limit here. That is just, we'll have a lower limit for our score. So in this lower limit, what you're going to do is, we'll just create 1 star first. So that is, if you have a 1 star, then your score will be 3000. Similarly 30,000, not 3000. And similarly, if we have 2 star, then let me say 2 star, then you have 40,000. Similarly 3 star, if you have 3 star here, that means your score will be 60,000. So let me say 60,000. So it is basically, we have only up to 3 star. If you ever played the Angry Bird, you could see we have 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star. So we'll stick to that, and we'll just create only with the 3 star. The score panel will only have this 3 star. So next thing what we're gonna do is, we'll just check this bool now, that is if self dot let me say, okay, we have a self bool space. So let's create a first inside this, let's say that is bool space, another variable that is to denote the space is false. So this will be the default value, and just go to this build 0 section, and what you're gonna do is, we'll check first if self dot bool space is true basically. So in this case it was false, it wouldn't just execute this statement. So number of birds will be 8. And now what you're gonna do is, we'll just have this same, that is this value, that is lower limit value, in here. Just copy it. Just this is for the security purpose. What if the game destroys its object automatically, then we have the 1 copy left as an score, and you need not to just copy it and paste it on all of these build, because we have now one default build, and this will work same as then for this initializer. So if this initializer fails, then we have something that is copy here in this build 0. And let me just go back to this main. Now we have completed with this level.py. So we have work here with this more of this level, that is level 1, level 2 and level 3. And similarly we have now here a star, that is 1 star, just denoting 30,000 score, and similarly increment in the score with increasing the star. So next thing what we're gonna do is go to this main.py, and we'll extract our star, button and a pig image, which is basically, if you see in these images and go to this basically in selected buttons here, so we want to extract these buttons in order to play. And similarly if you go in this let me say another, that will be pig failed. So you could see here that is this will be image reflecting that we lost our game, and this pig will be happy. So go to this main, and we'll just extract those elements, that is images. So after this pig image, what you're gonna do is we'll just extract first buttons. We'll say buttons, that will just load our image, that is from this pygame.image. Let me just quickly type it. So pygame.image dot and load, and just give the path here. So let me just quickly copy this path here and just paste it here. And instead of this full sprite, what you're gonna have is we'll have selected buttons, selected, and just hyphen here and buttons. And after that what you're gonna do is just convert alpha function, which is the pygame function, in order to remove the background. So similarly now we have buttons loaded. Now we'll just load another, that is pig happy image, that we saw earlier in this pig failed. So this image will be now loaded. So in order to load it, let me just copy it again. It would be exactly the same code, just a name of the file will be different. So instead of these selected buttons, what you're gonna do is we'll say pig failed.png, that is like pig failed and .png. Similarly what we do next is we'll just extract the stars now. So stars should be extracted first, it should be loaded and then it should be extracted. So let me copy it again and paste it here. So instead of this pig failed, what you're gonna have is we'll have something that is star edited. So if you see in this star edited, we need 3 stars, so just stars should be extracted from here. So let me say stars edited should be loaded now. So we have loaded this button pig happy and stars. So next thing what we're gonna do is we'll extract only some part from this button. That means when you go to this buttons, that is in this selected buttons, so we only need some of this part, that is this button and this button, in order to play or in order to restart. So basically we'll just extract that first. So extracting is from the rectangle. So we'll just create a rectangle from this pygame module, that is from this rect function, and just give the coordinate here, that is the point in which the rectangle should be created, that should 0 0, and 200 is the height and 200 is the width. This is width, 200 first one is width and second one is height. After this rectangle is created, just extract that star, that is only the star 1. First we'll just extract that star 1. So star 1 will be at this stars now. So this stars, and you just call this subsurface method in order to extract some part of the image and just pass it rect here. So similarly just copy it and just store it in star 1. So we have now star 1. Similarly let me just create now again, that would be this pygame same function, in order to create the rectangle. And instead of these points, we'll say the first point should be 204. At this point you should create an rectangle and the width will be 200 and 200. And similarly this will be basically for our star 2. That means if you see in this star rotated, so this will be extracted first, and similarly this 2 will be extracted when we have this star 2. So we have now rectangle that is only increment in our x, because we have not to increase in y, so this will only cover, that means increment in x only should be happened. So after that what you're gonna do is for this star surface, when you just get that star 2 now and store it in star 2, let me just copy it again. So third will be star 3 and paste it again. So the third will have this increment in x, that is the position, and 426, and similarly we'll store that in star 3. So we have now star 1, star 2, star 3. So next thing what we're gonna do is we'll just get the pause button again. So for that let me just copy it again and paste it. So in this rect, the new position will be something that is 164, so it would be 164, and next will be 10 here, and next be 60 and 60. So instead of star 3 we'll say pause button here, and this is pause button, and the pause button should be extracted from buttons. So buttons, because we have loaded these selected buttons, which was this image, into these buttons. So buttons dot subsurface, and just pass the rectangle in order to extract from that rectangle, and just copy it. So after that the next thing what we're gonna do is we'll just have this replace button again, the paste the same thing, and we'll say instead of star 3 we'll say replay. It is to extract the replay button, which will be basically, if you go in this selected buttons, you can see this is our replay button, not reflect, so that will be replay button. So get that. So first will be position, that will be 24 and 4 here, and give just 100 and 100, and replay button will be extracted. So after that one more we have to just have this next button. So here will be next button, and in this next button just give the point in order to make a rectangle. So that should be made at 142 and 365, and this position or the width should be 130 and the height should be 100. So next button has been also extracted. So last we have to extract the play button, that is if you go in this basically selected button, so play button is this button, so extract that now. So the position of the rectangle should have be 18 here, that is x, and y should be bigger, so 212, and give as in width as 100 and height of rectangle is 100. So instead of star 3 we have now play button. So play button, this should be play button. So if you see here, we have extracted it from the star. So instead of star it should be button, and this also should be buttons, and this star should also be buttons. So this will be wrap for this video. In the next lecture we'll bleed our score to the screen and see our output. So see you in the next.